So big news for the 2022 Ford Maverick, and actually quite scary for some depending how you read it, but I'm here to explain the whole news behind the no more orders for 2022 Ford Mavericks. Not just hybrid, that was announced that got cut off last November 15th, but we're talking about the Ecoboost now. Well, let's jump right into this, put the pedal to the metal. I'm going to tell you what's going on, what you should worry about, what you don't really need to worry about, and really try to give you some perspective on this. And is this news really true? Is Ford cutting off orders for the Ecoboost? I'd say yes and no. And you know what? Yes and no requires an explanation. So pedal to the metal, let's just jump right in. So there's a leaked memo to dealers, and this dealer memo essentially really simple. It's saying that as of Thursday, January 27th. So this is going to be relevant whether you're watching before 10 p.m. at night, Thursday, January 27th, or after. It's relevant in both cases. It's saying that new 2-liter EcoBoost orders submitted, well, they're just not going to be accepted. Essentially, they're only going to start re-accepting new orders come next summer. And I know next summer isn't very precise because summer starts June 22nd and goes, well, way into, early September. Summer covers quite a bit, so I don't have the exact date. So what's going on here? Well, dealers are going to have, once you do kind of have until 10 p.m. Thursday, January 27th to go order an EcoBoost. Is it the end of the world? And does it mean you're not getting a Maverick if you don't? What is it really going to change? Well, here's how I see it. First of all, let's talk about whether this memo is true. Yes, this memo was true. I can even confirm that when you look on a big table of fleet sales, the fleet sheet was already saying that the EcoBoost is going to be back in, you could say, in production in July. One way to look at this, to really put it as simple as possible, all this means is that what's currently in the system, for it to get, most of it to get built, or at least a good part of it, it is going to take until next summer. And I say a good part of it because there's 200,000, let's say there's 200,000 Maverick orders coming into play within the next few months. Ford's probably going to need 2 years to build 200,000 Mavericks. Now, this does not necessarily mean there's a 2-year wait. That would be at, a dealer that has way oversold their allotments. Because at a dealer that hasn't oversold their allotments, whether you order before January 27th, Thursday at 10 p.m., or after, and then the dealer, of course, will have until Wednesday, February 2nd to really fill out that order, put in the information required, proof that you're an actual client, so they'll need to take a photocopy of your driver's license. If you order before this date, this just means that you have a possibility to be built before next July. And I say a possibility because, once again, the number one factor deciding when you get built is where you are on your dealer's list. So if you order, let's say, February 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Your dealer is going to take your order, and if they haven't read their memo, they're going to pump it into the system, and it's just not going to be accepted. It's not going to be, I can't quite remember the term, so I don't have it right in front of me at the moment, but it's the term right before in production. It's basically order accepted. So your order isn't going to be accepted by Ford. Well, your dealer isn't just going to go, okay, and rip up your order. What they're going to do is they're going to take your order sheet and hopefully put it into an Excel spreadsheet, because, well, it's saved on a computer. It's a whole lot safer. And it doesn't get mixed up if someone drops the file or the folder. Some dealers might just put it away in a nice little folder, do it, 1980s style, and put it in a nice little folder. And people are going to be ordered in that manner come, let's say, July or August, when Ford opens up the gates again and are accepting orders. Well, the day they start accepting orders, that dealer is going to take their pile either from Excel spreadsheet and start punching them in one at a time, or take their paper folder file and start putting them in based on the order. Now, if you're at a dealer with a paper file, hopefully they haven't dropped it or someone's mixed it around. Always different strokes for different folks, different ways of doing things, but let's hope they go with that Excel sheet. So what is this really overall going to change? Well, it just means if you order before Thursday at 10 p.m., you're going to be in Ford's computer system over at the factory and your order is going to be accepted. Does this mean you're going to get built a whole lot faster? I really, truly do not think so. It's still going to depend where you are on your dealer's allotment sheet. And right now, no matter what dealer you're looking at, if they get an order, actually, I'm going to clarify. If you're at a dealer that has absolutely no one on a waiting list, no one waiting to get built, and you're before Thursday, yeah, you might get thrown a build date for the very end of March or let's say April. But I don't know if those dealers actually exist. I think what's going to happen is you're going to be accepted by the computer system over at the factory. And if it's after the 27th, January 27th, you're just going to be put on a list. And as soon as they can start ordering again, you're going to get accepted by the computer at the factory. So really, does it make a huge difference? No, we already knew for the most part that if you ordered a vehicle, a Maverick now, you're probably 6 months out. And all this really is Ford physically, verbally confirming that is absolutely the case. Now, the person that confirmed that over at Ford, Dean Stoneley, general manager of Ford Trucks, in an interview said that we didn't want to take more orders than we could build. We didn't want to take more orders than we could build. So really, he's just confirming what most of us who are following the channel, what we all already knew, that if you order a Maverick today, it's going to take probably, 5, 6, maybe more months to come in, because there's people from August who ordered in August who still haven't gotten their Maverick yet. And something to also keep in mind is that when it comes to ordering a Maverick, if you order one now or you order one after the 27th, you're still going to eventually get a Maverick. And the main important factor is where you order from. If that dealership has 600 Mavericks on order and only will be getting about 100 for the first year and maybe 250 for the second year, well, it'll be quite a while before you get your Maverick. But I don't really know if if the disproportion is that bad at any dealerships. I think a lot of dealerships, if you order now, you're probably looking at 6 months to maybe up to as bad as a year. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't have the exact numbers for really huge dealerships. I do know that locally, if you order a Maverick, right now before the 27th, you're probably going to be built around, let's hope, around April or May. But all this is really confirming is if very soon, no matter where you order from, you're going to get built probably July or August. And then soon after, in about September, they're going to cut off 2022 production and start building 2023s. So that's the news. I wanted things to be really clear. Now, if you already have ordered, if you ordered, for example, August or September, hopefully you will be getting built soon, maybe April or May, possibly June. It all depends on your local dealer. So the best question you can ask your dealer really is, where am I on your list? When would you expect me to be built? So unfortunately, you might have a salesman that just throws out a date, but definitely if they can give you an idea of where you are on their list. For example, I've seen the lightning list at my local dealership. Let's say they're at 112 orders. Well, if year 1 they're getting 10 and year 2 they're getting about 30, Well, you can have a good guesstimate that someone that's, order number 60 is probably going to be built third year of production. But the tricky thing with the Lightning is they just keep deciding to increase more, projecting that they'll be able to increase more. So that's actually really great news. And I'm hoping that this whole semiconductor shortage is going to be done with in about, you can hope that it'll be done in a year, but who knows, maybe it could last 2 years. And if that's the case, well, we can expect a whole lot more Mavericks to get built for 2023. But remember, when a new model comes along, they do actually start producing them in very small numbers at first, because they're just making sure everything's perfect with the model and of course all the equipment at the factory. So I can say that we can expect to get more Mavericks out for year 2 of production. We'll have to wait and see the exact numbers. As it stands in March, they still plan on building about 7,000 Mavericks. So over a 10-month period, if they held that up, you could expect about 70,000 Mavericks, just to give you an idea. So we'll have to keep an eye on how many Maverick orders, reservations, and orders are in the system. But something to keep in mind is why there are less Mavericks being built. The factory at full production can build about 300,000 units a year, and this needs to be shared with the Bronco Sport. So if it's a 50-50 split, that's 150,000 Mavericks. I think Ford's probably going to build about 100 to 125,000 to cover what they have, in the system so far. I'm thinking they must have about 100,000 sales, 225,000 sales. And if so, there might definitely be a few carries over that get turned into 2023 models. But we're going to keep an eye on that. But what I can tell you is that some of these semiconductors are going to be going into the higher profit units, not Mavericks. That's going to be because I have not seen very many Lariats show up. Ford isn't, with the Maverick, wasn't prioritizing the Lariat just because they sell for more, and obviously they must make a little more on the Lariat, which is pretty cool. I've seen a whole lot of XLTs go through, and not even luxury packages. I've seen a whole bunch of XLs go through, and I've been saying since last August that something beyond the spray-in bed liner is slowing things down for the Maverick, because we have an XLT luxury package that got passed by an order 2 months later, and it was a base XLT with a spray-in bed liner and hitch. So we got passed. That's when we knew for sure, and I've seen it on other orders as well. I've been following this, and well, they're getting past the luxury packages, I believe, because they require more semiconductors. Now, here's something, and I'm gonna say it as an explanation. So this is actually pretty interesting. Jim Farley himself. So Farley said, "We're maximizing production in our most profitable vehicles. That's helping offset the loss of production, but it's a very persistent problem." So that's a quote from Jim Farley. How I interpret it is that he's not saying that they're favoritizing higher profit trims or models. And that's very much the case. I have not seen, actually I've seen almost no Lariats. I've seen no Lariats get delivered. And I've seen it might have been one luxury package XLT. Basically, it's all been straight XLTs, no thrills, and XLs. However, I'm still seeing F-150s get delivered. So what does it mean? Well, how I see it is that some semiconductors are obviously going into F-150s because they're helping the company survive what could be a very difficult time because less units are being produced. But of course, being able to produce less units because while there's, a lack of plastic, rubber, vinyl, all sorts of shortages, all sorts of transport issues, there are just a lot of issues. So this is helping the company survive. And I definitely want the company to survive because I want to see more Mavericks. I actually hope to see a Maverick SUV. I think that would be really cool. But speaking of SUVs, on less important news, because that pretty much wraps it up for tonight, all the important news. So Ford focusing some semiconductors on F-150s, but I still think it's fantastic that they gave it a real go and should deliver, let's hope 100,000 Mavericks. March they're building 7,000. Let's hope that they can keep that beat up every month to come. And don't think that this news means they're not building any more Mavericks until July. It just means that the factory computer isn't going to be accepting orders. So a good dealer should be telling its client, you're definitely not getting built before next summer after Thursday, the 27th of January. The order after that, you're definitely, almost certainly getting built July or August. But they've made a really good go at it. Obviously, this can't possibly be a high profit margin vehicle, but they built it just the same. They didn't just focus all the semiconductors in F-150s and stop building, Bronco Sports. But that's my last little bit of personal news. My parents bought a really cool Badlands Bronco Sport. It's yellow, and just the other day I was saying, the big Bronco, it's unfortunate that the interior for the Outer Banks, which is my favorite model to Sasquatch, has to either be brown and black or blue and gray, because those colors don't match every single paint scheme. And I mentioned it, I think it was actually on another channel, talking with Dave from All Terrain Nation. Quickly mentioned that, why didn't they just have black on the Outer Banks? Well, I'll show you the picture. I'd like to get your feedback. Does it look good? They've got the outside yellow, cyber orange, yellow. Let's call it as it is. Let's not BS here. It's yellow. So that yellow Badlands Bronco Sport has the brown interior, and I think it could actually grow on me. So let us know what you think. If you've gotten this far in the video, please comment finisher. Add the comment. It helps the channel grow. It helps get this video out to more people, because I want to grow this community, because the bigger the community, the more intel, the more knowledge we get, so we can help each other out in the comment section. So, if you've got the answer to someone's question and you're sure of it, let them know. Even better if you can even put in a little source where this comes from. I hope this video has been helpful. I hope it puts away a bit of anxiety and stress. Till the next video, I do wish you all more cars and more power. Hope you get your Maverick or Bronco soon. And I do hope you get to put the pedal to the metal. But if you're driving a 20-year-old vehicle that's on the verge of breaking and you're holding off to get your new order, well, maybe you shouldn't put the pedal to the metal. And of course, always watch the speed. Until next time, take care, be safe.